What are the first words you think of when you hear the words Nova Scotia? For me, I think about things like freedom, free healthcare, and good education. On at least one of those accounts, though, I may be wrong. 2012 school year, Nova Scotia's government has started to cut millions of dollars from the education budget. This year, 7 members of staff will be leaving the school. It's my job to find out why these cuts are happening, what effects they'll have on our staff and students, and if there are any way to stop them.
The fact that we have small class sizes, reasonably small class sizes, and we have the opportunity to get to know individual students.
When we have visitors who have been to other schools from the Department of Education or from our board, they say what special kids we have here. They know it.
For a number of years, our sizes were capped. The cap is off, so class sizes are going to increase even more.
My concern is that, specifically with education, that sometimes the formula that they use is looking at as if everything is the same, and it isn't.
Well, I'm all for looking for efficiencies so the government can work properly and the education system can find places where money is not being spent in the best for the highest good for students.
In, let's say, grade 7 classroom, how many minutes they would have you for a math class. And divide that by the number of children in that class. That'll dictate how much individual attention one child would get.
Next year, where there are going to be teachers leaving our school, there's going to be more students per class. Right now, in grade 8, I was in a class of 20, and next year it'll be a class of 30. Do you think this could be negative at all? Or?
I'm not aware of those numbers.
Oh.
If that's, I haven't heard those numbers.
Right.
Anyone obviously would say it'd be better to have a lower number of students to teacher.
So my position has been cut. My position's been eliminated. That's why I have to leave the school for next year. I'm very sad to be leaving the school, but that is what happens in a time when there are budget cuts.
I firmly believe that education is really the bedrock for our opportunities and success in the future. And when we see the position Nova Scotia is in right now with the downturn in the economy, the global issues that are happening around us, we need all the assets we can bear to combat these challenges. And education will equip our youth and ourselves to be able to beat the odds, as it were.
I think that we really need to put money into education. Our children deserve it. And I think we'll be sad as a province if we don't do it and find out later that we should.
It's now been over 5 months since we last interviewed the staff and students at Bluenose Academy. Now time to return to the school and find out how these budget cuts have affected our school and how people's expectation of these cuts compare with reality.
The last time we spoke, it was June, I believe, and we were facing the idea of having budget cuts affect all schools in Nova Scotia, and our school in particular in Lunenburg here. I believe there was, I think, between 5 and 7 teachers that are full-time positions that we're going to lose in the school. So ratios would just be different. So for me personally, that meant going from a class of 21, 22 students last year. I now have 2 classes of 31 students.
But it increases student behavior incidents because if there's a lot of students, it's very hard for the teacher to be able to meet everyone's needs. And sometimes if a child has academic issues, then sometimes it turns to be taken out by behavior.
So I think one of the things is we will become more creative with more limited resources. But it's really hard to send home students' work when we have a limited amount of paper and a limited amount of ink in the printers or in the photocopier. Are we going to have further cuts in our education?
Right.
We only have so much money to go around, and we can only pile deficits so high.
It's too late to stop this set of budget cuts from happening. But we have to ask ourselves, will there be cuts again this year? Are we only doing what's necessary, or are we sinking the Bluenose?